Hey, you guys, I hope that you are well. Listen, if this is your first time, I want to give you a huge welcome. Thank you so much for coming on my channel. I am actually traveling right now, but I wanted to come on specifically to tell everybody happy New Year. And if you're wondering, what is she talking about? It is not January 1. What is Shannon talking about? Well, it is Rosh Hashanah. We just crossed over into the biblical or the Jewish New Year. And, even though we in this world follow the Gregorian calendar, God's calendar never changed. And I used to really not acknowledge it or know too much about it until I looked into it. And the reason that we want to make ourselves not just aware of that calendar, but also come into alignment with that calendar is because there are certain blessings that can take place when we get into alignment with it. And let me tell you something, I'm not trying to leave nothing on the table as far as the blessings are concerned. And so I wanted to talk to you guys very quickly about 3 things that God has given me for this new year and the new you for the new year, because it's going to be a new season. It is going to be an exciting season in a lot of ways, if we do what we're supposed to do and if we get into alignment with God's plan for our lives. And so the 3 words that he gave me was go, sow, and grow. Go, sow, and grow. And so one of the things that I have learned with God, and not an easy lesson, is that when we are not in position and aligned in the places that we are supposed to be, we can actually miss out on his best blessing. And so I have found myself transitioning in various areas of my life, in various seasons of my life, because the Lord spoke to me and says, it's time for you to transition. And whether or not that's a job that you need to go from or go to, whether or not it's a physical location that you need to move from and move to, whether or not that is an actual business that you need to move to a different location or locale or space, whether or not you need to change houses and move from one house to the other. It's a time where, if you're not in alignment with him, you can actually miss out on blessings that are in that location, in that space. And I know some people think, well, God knows where I am. I don't have to transition or move for him to find me. I mean, he can give me the blessing right where I am. Well, yeah, same thing with the house key. I can give you a house key to $1 million home, but until you actually go to that home, you will not enjoy that $1 million house. So even though you have the key, even though you have the deed, even though you have all the paperwork, until you go, you're not going to be able to get any of the benefits. And it's the same thing with God. He wants us to trust him. He wants us to go where he leads, and so that we can be in position, be in alignment to get whatever blessings he wants us in alignment with him. So when he tells you to go, please go. You guys, there have been so many times that God has called me to transition from what I was very familiar and comfortable with to something completely new, completely unfamiliar, and completely uncomfortable. I have changed where I lived as far as homes. I have transitioned jobs. I have left corporate America. I have transitioned from cities that I did not know anybody where I was going to. And so I completely understand how unnerving and how uncomfortable it can be. But it's a stretch of faith. And it's a stretch of even trusting God, believing that if he is leading you to do something new, to go to the new place, that there is a blessing. And I can tell you with a surety that every single time that I followed the prompting of the Lord, I never, ever was the least bit regretful that I did that. There was always a blessing that came with that transition as I followed the Lord. And so in this new year, if He is prompting you to go, which a lot of times He will, because again, God is about acceleration and He wants us all to accelerate with Him. And so in order for us to accelerate, a lot of times what happens is that it requires a change. It requires something new that we have to do. And most of the time, it requires us to go someplace new. And so ask the Lord if there's something that He wants to transition in your life as we start this new year. Because to be in position to receive the blessings that He has, you have to be where He wants you to be. You're not going to catch the ball on the field if you're not where the ball is being thrown. The second thing that I want to talk about is sowing. Ask God where He would have you sow. And when I'm talking about sowing, I'm talking about giving sacrificially, whether it's money, which is typically it, time, resources, whatever it is, to a ministry, a person, an organization, whoever you know has been a blessing in your life, or whoever the Lord would lead you to sow into. So one thing that I wanted to add about sowing is something that the Bible indicates to us in the book of James. And there are 3 categories that I am aware of in the Bible that God says that we are to be generous in giving to. And those are the poor, the widows, and Jewish people. And so because Jewish were His first chosen people, He wants us to pray for them. He wants us to be generous to them in other ways. Also poor people, and that should be obvious. He wants us to help the poor because, you know, the Bible says that what you do for someone who is poor, you are doing it unto me. And even obviously widows. So I just wanted to mention that. And so as we give, as we sow, as we give sacrificially of ourselves, it is something where we know, as the Bible says, that we can expect a return on. We can expect 10-fold, 30-fold, 60-fold, 100-fold, even 1,000-fold return, because God honors seed that is sown in faith into good ground. And so when I say good ground, I'm talking about ministries that are actually bearing lots of fruit, ministries that operate in integrity, ministries that are actually moving forward with the mandates of God. Then God might call you to give to that ministry. You know, ministries that you have received from, churches that you have received from. Ask the Lord if that's someplace that He would have you give. And so it's a season of sowing. You want to start this new year off with a sacrificial seed unto the Lord to show Him, listen, Lord, I want to honor you and I want to follow biblical protocol for this new year. And in that fashion, I am going to sow this seed, this sacrificial seed. So that is number 2. The third thing is that we need to make sure that we are doing everything that we can to position ourselves to grow. Remember, go, sow, and grow. And so connecting to the right people, connecting to the right things, connections or disconnection. If you know you have some people in your life that ain't going where you're going, I'm not saying that they're bad people, but you got to know where you're going. And you need to know who needs to be around you to bring about the purposes that God has you. People are either adding to your life or taking away from your life. And you need to know who is who. There's usually no in between. And if they're not going where you're going, if they're not adding to that journey that you are on as far as where the Lord is taking you, they might be taking away from. So you want to be surrounded by people, things, activities, ministries that are going to facilitate and enhance your growth, right? And so, with that, growing requires that good soil for you to be in. You're not going to grow as fast, you're not going to grow as strong, you're not going to grow as swift as you need to grow if you are spending your time amongst the weeds, if you're spending your time for people who are actually just, almost like leeches sucking from you, right? And so knowing who you need to be around, knowing who you need to be connected with, knowing what you need to be connected with, what do you need to do to grow? Do you need to study something? Do you need to take a class in something? Do you need to learn a language? If you're going to be traveling overseas and you're going to be going to a lot of countries, do you need to learn a language? If you're going to be, doing something with children, how are you preparing? So growing in whatever area God is transitioning you in, ask Him to show you what you need to grow in. So you guys, I hope that you got something from this. I know I'm talking so low. It is super duper late here, and I'm trying to be mindful in this hotel of, other people in it. You can tell it's really late outside. But anyway, I hope you got something from this, and I hope this new year just bountiful blessings I declare and speak over you as you seek the Lord, as you seek where He would have you go, where He would lead you to sow, and that where He would guide you to grow. And so just follow Him, and I'm just looking forward to the new year. It's going to be really fabulous. So I bless you guys on this new year, this new Rosh Hashanah, and I will see you guys later.